100%. It's important. You've got to be 100%.
I think Lawrence Okolie did that to me. He's like 6'6", 270.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. What are you weighing right now?
I'm like 215.
What's AJ's weight, 220?
He'll be like 250 in the ring.
Huh?
Jake Paul freaks out after Anthony Joshua reveals his knockout sparring footage. And oh boy, this clip dropped like a bomb. AJ didn't just mention the sparring, he leaked the knockout footage of Jake Paul getting dropped cold by Lawrence Okolie. This isn't some mild embarrassment. Okolie didn't just hit him, he sent Paul to the canvas and left him with a bruised eye and a black ring around it. That's not sparring lore, that's viral damage. Anthony Joshua just dropped a full-blown threat, and this time it's personal. After he leaked Jake Paul's brutal sparring footage where Okolie left Paul with a nasty black eye and visible damage, AJ isn't holding back. Joshua's warning sounds more like a promise. He studied Paul's flaws, he'll exploit them, and if Jake thinks he's walking in unscathed, he's dead wrong. This isn't motivation, it's a boxing assassination notice.
But obviously the first bell's gonna go. I need to understand Jake Paul's rhythm. I need to understand his negatives, his positives, and then obviously I'm gonna exploit them. What I'm gonna do personally is be at the highest point of self. Everything that I've watched the greats do, I'm just gonna do exactly what I need to do.
The boxing world is roasting Jake Paul. Everyone's calling him out after that leaked sparring damage. Fans are mocking how he's been getting worked over hard, leaving him with a nasty black eye that's impossible to hide and sparring injuries that are now part of the narrative. This ain't just training talk, the internet's turned that bruise into the biggest punchline in boxing right now, and Jake is feeling every bit of it.
Hey, oh my God, Jake's getting fucked up in sparring, and that could be the case. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't have any insights as to what's been going on.
Jake Paul parades his bruises like trophies, but fans see one thing he's getting worked over in camp. That black eye and busted face aren't luck, they're evidence he's been outclassed by real heavy hitters in sparring. The internet isn't just watching, it's mocking him mercilessly while his hype collapses in plain sight.
And a lot of you guys will know this because Jake Paul showed the bruises and marks on his face and said that it was Lawrence Okolie that had done that. And faces don't necessarily tell you how a spar went. Some guy can have blood all over him, he can have a busted up nose, but he's still...
Lawrence Okolie didn't hold back this time. Watching Paul try to keep up looked more like damage control than training. After leaving Paul with a bruised eye that's now viral, Okolie's words make it sound like Jake was barely worth his effort. Everyone online is blasting Paul's camp for embarrassment.
For the ropes. So this is big, don't get me wrong, but they whispered to me, it's 15. Oh, easy. So I'm there thinking, yep, break time, I'm gonna rest, I'm gonna get my breath back. I've got 12 rounds, I'll just...
Frank Warren's hype feels surreal when the real talk online is all about Paul walking around with a black eye from serious sparring, not glory. Instead of hype, fans are digging up clips of Paul looking bruised and outmatched, turning every promotional line into mockery and fuel for jokes at Paul's expense.
I don't see the sense of it. What do you want to go sparring for? Behind closed doors. Let all the fans see it. Do it in a ring, get paid for it. I mean, it's a bit of...
Duke McKenzie didn't mince words, saying Paul isn't world-class, hits especially hard now that sparring damage clips and that black eye are everywhere online. Fans aren't just agreeing, they're dragging Paul, turning every meme and reaction into a brutal commentary on how unprepared he looks.
I don't think he's world-class. He's not really my cup of tea. I mean, I don't look at boxing probably the way you do or most sort of fans do. I look at it.
Anthony Joshua didn't just make a statement, he shredded Jake Paul's chances after that sparring humiliation. By mocking Paul for being knocked out and entering camp with visible damage, AJ made it clear. Paul isn't just inexperienced, he's outclassed. Fans are buzzing, this isn't hype, it's a brutal wake-up call before the biggest fight yet.
Underestimate certain fighters and fighters that should never beat a certain guy.
Derek Chisora didn't sugarcoat it, pointing out that when someone gets knocked out in sparring, it's because they made foolish mistakes. With all the leaked sparring damage swirling online, including Paul's bruises and crooked nose, preparing for Joshua Chisora's words feel like a full-on roast of Paul's skill level and ring IQ.
It's different. Sparring, you're there to learn. So the guy you knocked out in sparring, He's understanding, okay, I did this silly move, that's how I got knocked out. So I'm gonna have to stop doing these silly moves so I don't get knocked out.
Derek Chisora isn't sugarcoating it to him. This isn't some competitive chess match. It's gonna be a trashing session. With Paul already showing damage from heavyweight sparring like that notorious black eye, Chisora's take feels like a gut check for the internet clown. Fans are buzzing so loudly, they're calling this less of a fight and more of a spectacle where Paul's reputation might get mercilessly torched, not by hype, but by real boxing power and precision.
Paul's 6'1" versus 6'6" Anthony Joshua. Jake weighed in for the Tyson fight at 199. Joshua against Ngannou was 252.
6'6". Just not just 6'6", but 6'6", and knows how to use every fucking inch of it. Knows how to keep that stick in your face. He was keep that jab in his face, and that right hand, if it hits you, you're fucked.
Derek Chisora isn't sugarcoating it to him. This isn't some competitive chess match. It's going to be a trashing session. With Paul already showing damage from heavyweight sparring like that notorious black eye, Chisora's take feels like a gut check for the internet clown. Fans are buzzing so loudly, they're calling this less of a fight and more of a spectacle where Paul's reputation might get mercilessly torched. Not by hype, but by real boxing power and precision.
Easy fight for him. And I think this should be laid to rest because I don't think AJ's going to go in and try and pat. AJ's going to smoke him.
Duke McKenzie essentially slammed the whole concept, warning that Joshua's real power could do serious harm to Paul if he's not careful. That stark warning hits even harder with all the talk about Paul getting bruised up and showing sparring injuries. McKenzie's honesty, shrugging that part of him wants the fight off for safety reasons, makes it clear this isn't just hype trash talk. It's a real concern echoed by fans and experts alike that Paul's body might take punishment far beyond any viral meme.
If Anthony Joshua goes into this fight with Jake Paul on a serious level and catches Jake Paul with a serious punch, he will do far more damage than that. So, from a health and safety perspective, I hope the fight doesn't happen. But from a commercial perspective, the fight has to happen because this fight generates...
Johnny Nelson just dropped the kind of brutal take that will haunt Jake Paul's hype. This isn't gutter talk. It's a professional calling out another professional's lack of readiness. With Jake showing off damage like a crooked nose and a nasty black eye from heavyweight sparring, evidence his body has already taken punishment training for Anthony Joshua. Nelson's warning feels eerily prophetic. Fans aren't just hyped, they're panicked. Everyone from former pros to social media boxing communities are pointing out that Paul is literally walking into a fight with visible injuries and stepping up to a former world champion who's known for jabbing, power, and precision. Nelson's words don't just predict a rough night. They paint Paul as someone who won't last unless he tightens every part of his game. This isn't motivation. It's a dire forecast.
I think he struggled with it. I remember the rumours around, I've got to say rumours, allegedly, the rumours around...
Eddie Hearn is selling the sizzle, and make no mistake, he's talking big. But listen closely. Even in Hearn's words, there's an implied fight-ending scenario. That, when he knocks Jake Paul out, isn't casual phrasing. It's the promoter essentially stating what he expects. This lines up with the cold reality many insiders are whispering about. Paul has been training with world-class heavyweights, but he's also showing up with a crooked nose from intense sparring, bruises, and a black eye that fans are mercilessly roasting him for. Some even speculate the fight might not happen at all because of the toll camp has taken. Hearn is betting on chaos and controversy to sell this card, but the underlying message is clear. He's bracing the world for a headline-making knockout, and that alone tells you exactly how this fight is being perceived by the industry. The media and a wary fan base watching Paul's vulnerabilities climb into mainstream headlines.
When he knocks Jake Paul out, the profile in America, the profile around the world, we're the hottest thing in boxing, AJ. All over again.
Carl Froch didn't mince words. He illustrated the scenario like a violent inevitability. This isn't bravado, it's imagery, One clean punch and Paul's night is done. Frock's prediction is harsh, but it mirrors what many pundits and boxing fans are saying online about the mismatch in size, skill, and experience. When this talk collides with the fact Jake Paul is entering the ring after camp where he already sustained visible injuries and a crooked nose, you can hear the inevitability in Froch's phrasing. Fans on social platforms aren't debating whether Paul gets hit. They're arguing whether he survives past the early rounds. Froch's graphic wording taps into that fear. It's not just hyperbole, it's grounded in how boxing insiders see the skill gap. This quote stokes the fire. Get ready for a demolition performance.
Hello and welcome to Froch on Fighting. My name is Carl Froch, aka The Cobra, former unified super middleweight world boxing champion and International Boxing Hall of Famer. This episode is brought to you by Cobra Casino. Okay, so I can't believe I'm actually going to say this, but it's been officially announced. Anthony Joshua will take on...
Spencer Oliver pins this prediction right where it stings. He's picking Joshua not out of bias, but because he knows how AJ fights when respect, ego, and reputation are on the line. Oliver describes Joshua as a proud competitor, someone who will come forward and press Paul. And that spells trouble. With Paul already walking around in camp carrying a black eye, a misshapen nose, and sparring scars serious enough to spark cancellation rumors, Oliver's warning reads less like punditry and more like a survival forecast. Fans are just nodding. They're splicing this into highlight reels and meme chains, using it to underline that Paul's confidence might meet a brutally different reality once the ring ropes go up. Oliver isn't sugarcoating. He's predicting a tactical assault that Paul might not withstand, and watchers online feel that same chill.
Very close to the win picking Anthony Joshua because I know Joshua and I know him well, and he's a proud guy, and he will not want to lose any respect from this, and he knows that he's got to get this job done, so expect to see an aggressive Anthony Joshua, which is only bad for Jake Paul.
Matt, can I ask you? As fight week closes in, the drama isn't just about two men in a ring. It's about reputation, punishment, and shock value. Jake Paul has already shown a black eye and a crooked nose from heavy sparring against real heavyweight talent, fueling critics who call this match a mismatch and safety concern. Fans and experts alike have questioned whether Paul is stepping into a real boxing challenge or walking into a beating he can't handle. Meanwhile, Anthony Joshua has made his intentions clear. This isn't a showcase, it's a statement fight. Joshua's legacy and punching power loom large, and he's prepared to impose himself from the opening bell. The internet has exploded with opinions, memes, and predictions, from early knockout forecasts to doubts about whether Paul even survives all 8 rounds. Now it's your turn. Comment below. Who wins on fight night? Paul's grit or Joshua's power?